Your dog isn't smiling at you. That expression you've been reading as joy. It's something older, something that existed long before love was ever part of the equation. By the end of this, you'll understand why what looks like happiness might actually be the most sophisticated survival strategy ever evolved, and why that matters more than you think. Let me tell you something strange about the way we see dogs. We live in a world where we project human emotion onto nearly everything. But with dogs, we don't just project. We believe. That pulled back mouth, those relaxed eyes, the soft pant that looks so much like a grin. We call it smiling because it feels true. And here's what's fascinating. We're not entirely wrong, but we're not right either. What we're seeing isn't joy the way you and I experience joy. It's a signal, a very specific signal that evolved over 15,000 years of watching us, learning us, becoming fluent in the language of human faces. Dogs didn't need to smile in the wild. Wolves don't smile at each other. They communicate through posture, through scent, through the tilt of an ear. But somewhere in the long partnership between humans and dogs, something shifted. They learned that certain expressions, certain arrangements of their features made us softer, made us reach down and touch them, made us share our food, our warmth, our protection. What matters isn't whether dogs feel happiness. They do. What matters is that they learned to show it in a way we could recognize, in a way that looked like us. Researchers call it the domestication of expression. The science is elegant and unsettling. Dogs who could raise their inner eyebrows, who could soften their gaze, who could pull their lips back in that particular way. They survived better. They were chosen more often, fed more consistently, loved more freely. So the ones who could mimic our expressions passed that ability down through generations. Not consciously, not deliberately, but the pattern held. Here's where it gets complicated. Because what started as survival, what began as a strategy to secure resources and safety, evolved into something that might actually be genuine, or at least something close enough that the difference stops mattering. When your dog looks at you with that soft expression, there's oxytocin flooding both your systems. The same hormone that bonds mothers to infants, the same chemical architecture of love. So is it real? That's not the question. The question is why we needed them to learn our language in the first place. Why a species that communicates perfectly well without facial expressions spent thousands of years developing muscles just to move their eyebrows, just to look more like us. We shaped them. We chose the ones who could mirror our emotions back to us. The ones who made us feel seen. And somewhere in that shaping, something true emerged. Because here's what the research shows. When dogs look at their humans, their brains light up in the same regions ours do when we look at someone we love. The strategy became the reality. The performance became the truth. That smile you see, it started as adaptation, a way to survive in a world run by creatures with different rules. But over 15,000 years of looking at each other, something shifted. They learned to love the way we needed to be loved. And we learn to recognize it. So when your dog greets you at the door with that expression, that soft-eyed, mouth open, almost grin, yes, it's a learned behavior. Yes, it evolved because it kept them fed and safe. But it's also joy, real joy, just expressed in a language they learned specifically for you. The domestication didn't make it fake. It made it possible. We created a creature that could show us love in a way we could understand. And in doing so, we created something that actually feels it. That's the deeper truth, not whether the smile is genuine, but that we needed it to look like ours before we could believe in it. And they learned, because that's what love does. It learns the language of the beloved, even if it takes 15,000 years.